quick. What is 97 times 96? If you just reached for a calculator, that is not your fault. School taught you one slow method for everything. Stack the numbers, carry the digits, and grind. The same heavy procedure, whether the problem is easy or hard. But here is the thing. The people who fire off answers in their head are not smarter than you, and they are not doing that slow procedure faster. They are not doing it at all. They just know a handful of shortcuts that schools almost never teach, little patterns hiding inside the numbers. In the next 10 minutes, I will give you 7 of them, and for every single one, I will show you exactly why it works, not just how. Because a trick you understand is a trick you never forget. By the end, that 97 times 96 will take you about 3 seconds in your head. Let us go. Trick 1. Multiplying any 2-digit number by 11. Take 72 times 11. Split the 2 digits apart, 7 and 2, and drop their sum right in the middle. 7 plus 2 is 9, so the answer is 792. 792. Now try 85 times 11. 8 and 5, and the sum is 13, too big for one slot. So you carry the 1. 8 becomes 9, leave the 3, keep the 5. 9, 3, 5, 935. Why does this work? Multiplying by 11 is just multiplying by 10 and adding one more copy. 72 times 10 is 720 plus another 72. When you stack those, the tens digit and the units digit land right on top of each other. And the middle of your answer is simply the 2 originals added together. That is the whole secret, and it works for any 2-digit number. Trick 2. Squaring any number that ends in 5 instantly. Take 35 squared. Ignore the 5 for a second and look at the 3. Multiply it by the next number up. 3 times 4 is 12. Now just glue 25 on the end. 12, 25, 1,225. 85 squared. 8 times 9 is 72. Glue on 25. 7,225. Every single time, the answer ends in 25. And the front is that first digit times the next one up. Here is why. A number ending in 5 is 10n plus 5. Square it and the algebra collapses into 100 times n plus 1. With 25 stuck on the end. That first piece, n times n plus 1, is exactly your digit times the next one up. Shift it over by 2 places to make room for the 25. Once you have seen it, you will square 25, 45, 95, all of them, on sight. Trick 3 is the one you will use every day, multiplying by 5. Forget the 5. To multiply by 5, take half of the number, then multiply by 10. 48 times 5. Half of 48 is 24. Add a 0, 240. 86 times 5. Half is 43. Add a 0, 430. And when the number is odd, it is just as clean. 23 times 5. Half of 23 is 11 and a half, times 10. 115. Why does this work? Because 5 is just 10 divided by 2. So multiplying by 5 is the same as halving, then multiplying by 10. And 10 is the friendliest number there is. Because multiplying by 10 is free, you just write a 0. That is the deeper habit here. Whenever you can, route the problem through 10. Trick 4, the 9s. Nobody likes the 9 times table, so stop using it. To multiply by 9, multiply by 10, then subtract 1 copy. 9 times 7. 10 sevens is 70. Take away 1 7, 63. 9 times 46. 46 times 10 is 460. Subtract 46, 414. It works because 9 is simply 10 minus 1. 9 times anything is 10 times it, minus 1 of itself. And the same idea scales up. To multiply by 99, multiply by 100 and subtract 1 copy. 99 times 50 is 5,000 minus 50, 4,950. One easy multiply, one easy subtract, and the whole 9 table disappears. Trick 5 will feel like cheating. Any percentage can be flipped. X% of Y is exactly the same as Y% of X. Watch. What is 18% of 50? That sounds annoying, but flip it. 50% of 18 is just half of 18, 9. Done. What is 4% of 75? Flip it. 75% of 4 is 3. Why are you allowed to do this? A percent of B is A over 100 times B, and multiplication does not care about order. A times B is the same as B times A, so a percent of B and B% of A are always exactly the same number. This is the one people gasp at because it feels like breaking a rule. It is not. It is just multiplication being multiplication. Whenever one side looks ugly, flip it, and the other side is usually easy. Trick 6. Stop memorizing the hard tables and just double. To multiply by 4, double the number twice. 36 times 4. Double is 72, double again, 144. To multiply by 8, double 3 times. And multiplying by 25? 25 is 100 divided by 4. So multiply by 100, then cut it into quarters. 88 times 25. 8,800 divided by 4, 2,200. Why does doubling win? 4 is 2 times 2, and 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. Each doubling is just adding a number to itself, which your brain does almost for free. So instead of wrestling one scary multiplication, you break it into 2 or 3 baby steps that barely feel like effort. Hard times tables are really just easy doublings in a trench coat. Trick 7, the one that looks impossible. 97 times 96 in your head. Here is the move. Both numbers are a little under 100. 97 is 3 below, 96 is 4 below. Step 1, subtract crosswise. 97 minus 4 or 96 minus 3, either way you get 93. That is the front of your answer. Step 2, multiply the 2 little gaps. 3 times 4 is 12. That is the back. Slam them together. 93, 12, 9,312. One more. 98 times 94. The gaps are 2 and 6. 98 minus 6 is 92. 2 times 6 is 12. 9212. 9,212. Why does this work? Each number is 100 minus a gap, and the algebra hands you exactly the crosswise subtraction and the product of the gaps. The trick is just that formula, wearing a disguise. Let us put all 7 in one place. 1 times 11, split the digits and add them in the middle. 2, squaring a number that ends in 5. The front times the next number up, then 25. 3 times 5, halve it and add a 0. 4 times 9 times 10 and subtract 1 copy. 5, flip the percentage. 6 times 4, 8 or 25, just double or quarter 100. 7, numbers near 100, cross subtract, then multiply the gaps. And notice what every single one had in common. None of them were magic. Each trick just rewrote a hard problem as an easy one. Route through 10, split a square, flip an order, double instead of multiply. That is the real secret school skip. Numbers have structure, and structure gives you shortcuts, if someone bothers to show you where they are hiding. But knowing a trick and owning it are two different things. These only get fast with a little practice. A few minutes a day until they fire automatically, like tying your shoes. So I built a free mental math trainer that drills exactly these 7 patterns, and it is linked right in the description. Give it 1 week and you will feel the difference. For years, your brain did all of this the long, heavy way, stacking and carrying and grinding, because that was the only method anyone showed you. Math was quietly holding the shortcut the whole time. Now you have 7 of them. Pick one, use it today, and watch how fast it becomes second nature. And that is really what this whole channel is about. The gap between the slow way your gut wants to do it and the quiet, elegant shortcut the math was offering all along. If this rewired how you see numbers, even a little, subscribe. There is a lot more where this came from. Thanks for thinking with me.